Welcome, Maria.
Thank you, everyone. Welcome to the show. Let's cook rock. Today we are gonna prepare this amazing dessert that is like a banana chocolate boat. Um, and we are gonna start with the ingredients. Just to remind that we have everything in here.
Sure.
So we have one papaya, medium, ripe, because that's really important. So we have one really nice ripe papaya in here that is a female, and it doesn't have so many seeds, just barely. And then we have in here bananas. You can choose as many as you want. We put in the recipe just 3, but you can like add more if you want to share the meal with somebody else too. We have 6 dates, medjool. We have cinnamon powder, organic, local. We have carob powder in here. And we have vanilla, pure vanilla, 1 teaspoon, or 1/4 teaspoon. And this is cherry coconut that we are gonna use as a topping at the end. And we have some strawberries in here, fresh strawberries, that we are gonna cut there.
I think they're talking about taco.
Oh.
Taco's not too far from a couple hours away.
So we are gonna start to peeling the papaya and taking out the flesh from the skin and put it in the blender, right? So in this process of doing this, I'm gonna do it, and maybe if you wanna ask something, or Dr. Graham, if you wanna ask anything, that would be nice, because it takes a little bit to just cut the papaya and just peel it.
Well, sure. Some people peel the papaya from the outside in. I do it the way you do it. But most people have never seen papaya with no seed. That's not what's normally in stores. How come some papayas have seed and some papayas don't?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, it just has to do with if it's male or female. This one, I believe, is the female variety. So it still has some seeds, but it doesn't have nearly as much as the male variety. But that's just, I think, naturally sometimes even within the same papaya tree, there'll be some males and some female. So it's not at all like this papaya is GMO or there's anything wrong with it. It's just that some are female and some are male. And there was some seeds, like we scraped out the seeds that were in here right before we started.
But very few.
Yeah, very few seeds, but that's the only difference between the 2 types of genders when it comes to papaya.
Okay, so
Like
the
in nature.
the papaya can actually be anything from 100% female, in which case it will have 0 seed, to 99% male. If it's 100% male, then you won't get any fruit at all. But up until that point, you'll just have fruit with more and more and more seed. So essentially, the papaya would count as a hermaphroditic fruit, because it can be anywhere from 0% male to 99% male and still make fruit. As far as I know, this doesn't change from within the plant. However, the plant is it's up to the plant to be that much female or that much male. I don't believe that, at least in the papayas that I grew, you either had a male plant, a female plant, or something in between, and it would consistently produce either seedless fruit or fruit with 3 seed or fruit with 500 seed. Or
yeah.
And if you have an all male plant, then you just rip that out of the ground and you say, I don't want that one.
Well, actually, since we're starting to grow our own food here in Costa Rica and learning more about the process of growing fruit trees, from what I've learned, you actually do need at least one male papaya tree to pollinate the rest of the female papayas.
All of the trees that are partially male will pollinate the others.
Hmm.
You just have, you can't grow an all-female farm,
Of course.
but you could grow you could have just, you know, mostly female and then one that's predominantly male, but it will still fruit and it will still pollinate the others.
I guess the one thing that I don't know is how to spot the difference between
By the number of flowers that come off the stem. So
right.
when a female plant will just make one flower and then one flower and then one, but a male plant will make a stem and then 6 or 8 or 10 flowers.
But I did know that, but I don't know how to tell if it's somewhere in between, if it's a mix. Because I know by the flowers, yeah, if the flowers are kind of off the trunk, then it, like you said, then it's male. And if it's on the trunk, then it's female. But is there any way to tell if it's somewhere in between?
Again, the stem and the flower arrangement will be somewhere in between.
Okay.
So you
Okay,
might see 2 flowers or 3.
Okay, so now thank you, Dr. Ram, for sharing that information, which is really valuable for all the people that doesn't know, and it's really, really deep to learn about the fruit that we ate, and we don't even know how it's coming from, where it's coming from, how does it form, and the structure that is natural in a tree of papaya. Well, it's not a tree, but it's more, well, it's a tree, but it's very skinny. Yeah, that's how is the way of like growing papayas. Most people, when they come to Costa Rica and see a papaya tree, they are just like, whoa, and then they see the papaya just coming out and they are just so surprised because they have never seen a papaya tree. And it's really amazing how you can find a really variety of fruits, exotic fruits too in Costa Rica. It's amazing. It's a blessed land. And yes, so let's keep with the show. And for this, we have already peeled our papaya. So I'm just gonna put all my papaya on the blender. Super easy. It's already peeled. It's already cut in little chunks. And then.
How far from the skin, how deep was the skin? Did you just get paper thin skin or did you take off a good bit of the skin?
We are gonna add all dates. Since this is like a dessert, so it's just very sweet, right? So for everyone, if you don't like it too sweet, right, you are gonna experiment this when you blend it. So a lot of people doesn't like too sweet. I do like too sweet, but you can just experiment with 2 dates first, and then you try it, right? We're gonna put the rest of the ingredients. The vanilla. We are gonna pour the vanilla in the blender. And then now this, we're gonna pour the cinnamon on the blender, right? Let me know if you want that we wait for you, and we can wait for you. And now the carob. We are gonna pour all the carob on the blender. I know it looks like a lot, but it's not. And we want this flavor and texture of ganache, chocolate ganache, because that's how it's gonna be the secret of this recipe. So,
can I ask
and then
a
now
question
we can blend it and start to trying and playing with the ingredients. If we need more dates, we already put 6 dates on the recipe, but it's optional if you don't want it too sweet or just more simple. So we're gonna blend it first.
Yes, what's the question?
Or
Yeah.
just unmute it. Yeah.
Maria, how much carob was there?
I missed the
Just
entire
mute it.
thing. Okay, we're gonna mute it. So for the blending.
Somebody is asking, I couldn't see the name, I'm sorry, but somebody's asking if I have to add the rest of the fruits, like the strawberries or the mangoes on the blender. No, you don't have to, because that's for toppings. That's not on the chocolate ganache. So you
Maria,
will
could
see
you
at
please
the end,
repeat
that's
what
mostly
is
for toppings. We don't mix it other fruits in this chocolate pudding ganache because it's very simple. You wanna mute me?
Maria, could you please repeat what's in your blender?
It looks like it was Elisa who asked that question.
Can you tell us what's in your blender before you turn it on again? They're in their own. Guys? Here, we'll try this way. So technical difficulties from Costa Rica. It's always a mix. It's always tough. Sketchy is the word they like to use for internet in Costa Rica. Sorry, folks. We're doing our best. We're bringing you a worldwide show. It's pretty spectacular that this.
Okay, Dr. Graham is asking like what's on the blender? So we're gonna repeat. On the blender we have the papaya already cut and peeled. And we have the cinnamon, the vanilla, and dates. But the dates, it's your own choice. If you want it too sweet or no sweet, or not so sweet, you can put 2. Start with 2, and then you keep putting more until you taste that is enough or no.
The carob too. Somebody was asking how much carob goes into this as well.
Okay, so the carob, it's have 100 grams of carob. You can put all the 100 grams, or you can start with half of like 50 grams and just check how do you feel it, right? Right now I'm gonna taste it for the sweetness. Let's see. Can I have this spoon?
Yeah, of course.
It's not that sweet, see? So now we're gonna put the rest of the dates, which are 4. So now we have all the dates on the blender. And then now we are gonna blend it again. Other question?
Mark, are you still muted?
Perfect, guys, we're back. So now everything is blended in here, and we have basically all blended, and to me it's the perfect texture when it's kind of like a pudding, or not a pudding, kind of like a liquid chocolate melted. That's the perfect texture that we want, because we are making a banana boat, right? So we want to like spread all this chocolate in a really nice way, but the only way that it can just be that, it has to be the texture of the blending. So you can blend it as much as you want until you start to see the texture. So I'm gonna show you how is the texture, like, you know, like a chocolate, like a pure chocolate melted. So now we have the perfect texture, and now we are gonna continue with our bananas, right? So we have in here 3 perfect bananas. Well, we have more, but we have 3 perfect banana ripes. For those of you smart with a happy teaspoon of perfect, can you go back to the video?
Unfortunately, Doug, we cannot hear you. But it seems like people could still hear us, so that's good.
We can hear you.
Yeah. Perfect. So we have in here the bananas ripe, and we are gonna use as many as you want. In this case, I'm gonna use just 3. And just peel it. Just peel the whole banana. Keep it straight. You don't want to take your hand there. Just peel it. And then we're just gonna put it in our plate of display. This is our plate for this plate. And then it's a little bit deep, so you can like put the other toppings and also the chocolate ganache. So we're gonna put it as you want in here. Maybe you want to kind of move the camera,
Sure.
so people can see it
Or
more.
maybe I could just move this closer.
Well, it's better if they can also see. Just
You wanna
move it
move it
somewhere.
closer? Move it.
Yeah, you can just manipulate the camera. That's better. Yep, just there. Rub it down, perfect. So we have it in here, guys, right? That's awesome. Thank you, Marco, for your help. And then our strawberries here, we are going to, yeah, this technical. Okay, so we have the strawberries in here. So we are going to cut it. That's for the topping, right, guys? So we are just gonna cut it. In little slices, because that's gonna be our toppings. Personally, I don't like the stamps, but it's your choice and option if you wanna put the stamps on the display. I just like to cut it in a slice, and I take always a stamp because for presentation it looks more pretty. But look, I just don't move so much the camera because it's kind of like a little bit much for the public. And then, thank you, Mark. And then we are gonna spread our chocolate. This is the most amazing and fun time of the recipe because this is so good. So you are just basically gonna spread it. This is really good, guys. I cannot even explain until you try it. But this is so good for kids and from any adult that loves chocolate. It's honestly one of my favorite recipes in the retreats that people love it. And it's just success completely from a really like nice sweet tooth, especially from people that like sweets. So now we have the coconut. So I want that you don't move the camera, don't worry, I can move. Here we have the bananas and the chocolate already spread on the top. And then now we have in here the coconut shell, right? And then I'm gonna just spread it or sprinkle in the top as much as you want. I usually prefer just to put a little bit, not too much, because for presentation it looks more pretty simple and not overwhelming. So look now how it looks. And then now we are gonna put the strawberries or the mangoes in your case. The reason because we didn't use mangoes, it's right now, it's not more in Costa Rica mango season, it's over. So, well, sadly we couldn't find more mangoes, and we don't like to get green unripe mangoes because that means that nature is telling you it's not anymore on the season, so you should not eat it, right? So we go with nature and flow, and we think that the best way is just flowing as the time it is. So if the time is right to eat mangoes because it's season, that's amazing, and if not, that's okay. So we have finally, I kind of want to just eat it right now, but I want to show it to you. That's how it looks. It's really pretty, the presentation, and it's really fulfilling. You can add more chocolate because I want that you see how much chocolate you can make with one papaya. That's a lot of chocolate. And guess what? You can make more other recipes. And you can also use the rest of the chocolate pudding or ganache in your regular like pudding chocolate, and just put it on the fridge in a cup and let it cool. That's how I like it, cool. So right now, I guess we are gonna eat these together